we are going to study difficult means and quick realization. So this difficult means and quick realization is again mentioned in this under the first profitable direction. Over here we have this part on the difficult means and quick realization. Here bhikkhu, a certain one abides reflecting loathsomeness in the body, loathsomeness in food, a detachment from all the world, seeing impermanence in all determinations, and the perception of death is thoroughly established in him. He abides relying on these 5 powers of a trainer, such as the powers of faith, shame, remorse, effort, and wisdom. The 5 faculties of faith, effort, and then mindfulness and concentration and wisdom are sharp in him. As a result, he realizes the destruction of desires quickly, with successive leading. Bhikkhu, to this is said the difficult means and quick realization. So you can see is those 5 meditations we did this morning are the ones over here as well. That we were looking at the foulness, loathsomeness in food, where you were looking at this vomit and analyzing it from the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. And then with that perception, not let go of that perception, you look at the loathsomeness in the body, the hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh and so on. And then the impermanence in all determinations, all formations. We did that meditation with the Daduto Punyam Pavadati Gatha. And also the detachment from all world. We use the same meditation as well as the Halitakani Sutta for that one. And the perception of death you did first day and today morning as well. So thoroughly establishing him means that one day when Buddha went to a place where monks are contemplating about the death, talking about the death, and then Buddha was asking, how do you do the contemplation of death? And then they said that if I go for arms round and then a snake might bite me and then I might die. Some other person said that after eating these things, those 4 things like phlegm sort of thing, air sort of agitated, and then because of that I can die. And having asked those things, and Buddha said no one is doing this perception of death meditation well. And he said that when you breathe in, do not think that I will live to breathe out. When you breathe out, you may not live to breathe in. So if you think that when I go to the road, I might die, that is far away. So that is this perception of death is thoroughly established. Always he thinks that I might die next minute. So he abide relying these powers of the trainer, the faith, shame, effort and wisdom. Because of this one is 5 faculties. Faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration and wisdom are sharp in him. So it's not blunt. So therefore he realizes the destruction of desires quickly with successful leading. This is the difficult means and quick realization. So all those 5 meditations you have already done. So when you do that one, then you come to the second jhana, concentration. So remember the first jhana that we were looking at this morning, that with the initial application, sustained application, aloof from the sense pleasures, and you go to the seclusion and then you get the first jhana meditation with the rapture and the pleasure. And then you understand this, for me to have this rapture, I have to pay some sort of price. The price is that the cost of the meditation. We have to think about hair of the body, nails, teeth and so on. So 32 parts. So now he take those things to his mind. He become mindful now. When he actually say this is hair, and he knows that these things are in that boat of urine and excrement. So then he can go to the second jhana concentration. So the rapture is there. And with the second jhana level, you can even wet your body from the rapture that is flowing through. You can see, you can feel it from your legs and as well as the head. And even you are capable of recalling your past births to great eons as well. But there is a bit of a price you are paying over there, because this brain is sort of draining, because of these electrochemical signals are passing through the body. So as I said before, the seventh jhana is the best to recall past births. So when you come to the second jhana, concentration, when you are coming to this contemplation of feeling. The contemplation of feeling is that we learn this one, that such is feeling, such is the rising of feeling, such is passing away of feeling. Remember we did that one first day, first meditation. So you seek delight in feeling, welcomes it, remain healed, hold into it. By doing that one, delight in feeling come to arise. Delight in feeling is clinging as condition, the existence as condition, the birth come to be. So such is the arising phenomena of this feeling. And then you look at the passing away phenomenon. Then you see one does not seek delight in feeling, does not welcome, does not remain holy. So therefore, delight in feeling, stop, it ceases. With the cessation of this delight comes the cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of existence, the existence of the very same craving. With the cessation of existence comes the cessation of birth. So such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. So that is the rising and passing. So you see, in the difficult means and slow realization meditation we did this morning, we were actually contemplating about a dead body, and then we were looking at the rising and passing. So here normally people think that the second jhana is there next to it. So therefore it may be the rapture that we are talking about. Well, it is included, but you understand whatever thing felt is included in the suffering. So therefore you are actually talking about the painful feeling over here, the suffering nature. And that one you are actually contemplating the rising and passing. So when you do that one, then you come to this four immeasurable states. So this is the metta, loving kindness, and then karuna, compassion, and then equanimity, the appreciative joy, that is mudita, or sympathetic joy, or the upekka, equanimity. So those are the immeasurable states. Now you understand that how did we arrive at the immeasurable state of loving kindness? For that one you have to use this the Patipada. Remember we were using this particular Patipada where we have this painful way with slow realization, the same meditation subjects, and then you come to the first jhana meditation. From that one you came to the first foundation of mindfulness, that is mindfulness regarding the body. So you are contemplating the rising and passing away phenomena of the form. And then there you understood that because of the existence of craving, the birth come to be. With that understanding, with that noble understanding, you got the concentration. That is the first abiding. That's the first jhana, concentration with the understanding. And this is how the suffering come to arise. Remember our example about the worm in cow dung. So then you understood that you are like a worm in the cow dung. You touch Nibbana by coming to this first abiding. And then you understood there is a solution apart from this living like a cow dung. So you put effort to get out of this one, and that is, you are saying that I don't want this sensual thought, ill thought, and the harming thought. If I use them, then I will fall back. I will be back in cow dung. So you are away from cow dung with your effort, and then you see the worm in the cow dung has been born over there, and there is the aging, sickness, and death. So the first noble truth was seen, and having seen that one, then you went to this determination for truth. Whatever thing in the world is deceptive and it is false, and what is not changing, what is lasting is the Nibbana. So then you had the desire to attain Nibbana. So that is concentration due to desire. So there were two enemies for the concentration due to desire. So then that is abhijja, covetousness, and the sadness. To get rid of that one, you restrained faculties. So you came to the metta meditation, and then santrindriyoja, nipakocha, you become prudent and not going hankering after. You are not uplifting, and then not hankering after associating with families, and then you spread the metta, and you reach the measureless state of loving kindness. So these 10 parts over here are in between the contemplation of feeling and these 4 immeasurable states. At least that one should be there. I mean, if you think about that cow dung example, that is good enough. You can actually reach that state with that one, and then spreading the loving kindness. So the first meditation is working over here. And now there's a question comes. Why are we actually having this loving kindness? What for? You see, this form has done quite a lot harming to us. My grandfather was angry. Why? Because the taste buds are gone. So that is the harming due to the form. So how can you get rid of that one? Only way is that we use metta, loving kindness. That is the only way. Buddha said in one discourse, whatever bad things that we have done, a way to get rid of it, you can't completely get rid of it, but using metta, loving kindness, you can make it not, coming up, so that you live with that situation, so that you won't fall. So, because the harm that we got this body, what can you do now? It is there, it is subject to aging. So only the loving kindness is the one. Remember that you can't live even from eating a fruit. The last meditation, the 7th one. So you become anger, and you have the anger over there. So best way to just have the metta, loving kindness. On the other hand, you see, how did you get this body? You went to the mother's womb. By that time you had sexual misconduct. So the sexual misconduct lead to delusion. Because of the delusion, sexual misconduct, it goes both ways. Then you understand, I got this body, then I have the sexual misconduct, that means I have delusion. Now having known that you have the delusion, that is, you have greed, hate, and delusion. When there is delusion, there is greed. Greed will come, and the hate will arise. So now you are actually putting effort to get to it. He rouses his will, makes an effort, stirs up energy, exerts his mind, and strives to overcome evil, unwholesome mental states that have arisen. So what are the arisen unwholesome mental states? They are greed, hate, and delusion. And the witness for the delusion is your body, because you have the sexual misconduct, and therefore there is delusion. If there is delusion, then you get greed and the hate. Now you see the noble truth of arising of suffering, because you are doing the contemplation about the feeling. From the feeling that you get craving. So now you see the craving for sensuality, craving for existence, craving for non-existence, which we explained on the first day. Just to catch up, you can see that you earn money and then you pay all the bills, rent and all those things, and then you save $10 or so, and then you go there to your mango dealer and you thought that I will have fun, and but he is actually selling two types of mango. One pile $10 or less, but it has got this insect bites and rotten mango. The other pile, it is $20. You took that one $10 pile as a gain for you, so you bought it and cut down the rotten part and eat it. You got the pleasure. That pleasure, because of that pleasure, you got the craving for sensuality. Now, having done that one, you define your life. You thought that I will live such a life now, because paying the bills, you don't have any fun. You don't feel like living, just because only thing you have to do is paying bills and bills and bills. So because of the pleasure, the craving for sensuality, now you think you define your life. I will earn money, pay the bills, save $10, have the rotten mango and eat. And you are not actually saying that rotten part, it is sitting within bracket. You are saying I will eat a mango and live. So that is the craving for existence. Now you want to exist because of that pleasure. After some times, you are saying it's okay for me not to have that mango. But if I am getting the pleasure that I got when I was eating the mango, by any means, then it is okay. So that is the craving for non-existence. In other words, you are now saying, I am happy to live apart from the mango, but still demand the feeling you used to get that eating the mango. You see, without the mango, you can't actually get the feeling. Because of the mango, by touching that one, you sort of got a class about when I eat mango, when I eat jelly bean, and this is. Otherwise, you can just say feeling. What is feeling? By those senses, you got that one. So now you are demanding that class. So now you can see the craving for sensuality led to craving for existence. Craving for sensuality and craving for existence, both together, led to craving for non-existence. Now, would you sort of keep on saying that it is suffering? This suffering is caused by the craving. It is like that, a man is saying when he meet his friend saying, it is suffering. The friend is asking, why is it? Well, Buddha is saying it is because of the craving. So that discussion is over for that day. And 2 weeks later, they meet again. Then the other person is saying it is suffering. The other person is asking, why is it suffering? Because the Buddha is saying that it is craving, that I have suffering. So it's like a parrot repeating the same thing. But an intelligent person would take some actions. So if the craving is the one creating this problem, then let me give up. So that is the determination for relinquishment, chagadittan, which we touched upon yesterday as well. The renunciation of all mental acquisitions. And that is the highest noble relinquishment. So this renunciation, first it says that the craving, the view, and then the defilements like envy and sort of thing. And then it is further divided, and it is now saying these 10 parts, the craving, view, defilements, and then another one is karma. The karma is a defilement of the mind. To understand this part that played by the karma, let us go back to that diagram. So in this particular diagram, Potali Sutta, this is the aging diagram we use for Potali Sutta. Let us say you cut down, there are certain strings over here. The physical nutriment connecting, and then the physical nutriment connecting to contact, and so on. Let's say you take a scissor and cut down all these links on the top. So the link between the body tie of misapprehension and consciousness is cut down as well. In that case, do you get any consciousness? Would that generate the consciousness? Normally people think there won't be, but it is not so. It will be generated. From what? Because you have the form karma. This body tie of insistence that this is truth. That is your form karma. Because of that one, you have this the taint of ignorance. And from the taint of ignorance, you can see we go back to the taint of sensual desire. From the taint of sensual desire, you come to the barb of lust, and then you go and touch the form. If you touch the form again, consciousness is getting established depending on that. So this one happened to us when you were very small. You see, the man look at a woman with a conceit that I am a man. So therefore, he get different thoughts. Man would look at a man in a different sense. A woman would look at a man with a conceit that I am a woman. So a woman would be looking at a woman in a different way because they are equal. So because of that differences, that the thoughts come to arise, different type of thoughts. This one happened to us when we were very small. I can tell you, I saw a little boy about sort of 6 or 7 years old climbing to a guava tree. This tree branch was actually close to the earth, otherwise mom would not let him go there. And then his little sister was there, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And then he was asking, little sister, come, join me in this tree, climb the tree. Then mother was looking at it and mother said, son, girls are not climbing trees. Those days, isn't it? So now this boy took it. Then he said, oh, can't they do that? It's only we can do that. And then he started singing a song. And I'm going to take this guava, take guava from this tree. And there was no guava in that one, no fruit at all. And so this little boy, he got something at that particular time. I am a boy, she's a girl sort of scenario. And let us say this boy is now grown up and got married and going to work and coming back home with his wife. And then in the the garden he see that quite a lot of grass is to be cut. So now he thinks, oh, these things only I can do. Big work, hard work, lawn mowing, my wife can't do, only I can do. So his wife is entering the house and going to nearby the kitchen and looking at the kitchen now, only I can do these things. Some people say my husband can't even make a sambal, things like that. Actually, I saw one family, one woman in Sri Lanka in a rural area was scolding her husband. Husband was not at home. And then here in this one, there was another lady and then said, it is not appropriate for you to say like this one. Because of him, you are actually living. Because this lady is not earning any money. The husband is the only one earning money. Then, that lady was looking at the other woman for a little while and then said, yes, he is earning money. But if I don't cook, he won't be able to live. So that's how I was thinking. So because of this, male, female organs, then the male person is looking at a female person thinking that I am a male. So the different thoughts are coming. And a female person looking at a male person thinking that I am a female. So it is different to that one. So likewise you can see this is your form of karma. You are the male or the female is there. So therefore, from the taint of ignorance you go to the taint of sensual desire, and then you to the barb of lust you touch the form, and then you construct the consciousness. So cutting on the top does not do the job, because from the bottom side it will link it back again. And again, these nutriments, physical nutriment, contact as nutriment, mental origin, consciousness as nutriment, they are also these they are the mental acquisitions as well. And then four great elements: the element of extensions, element of heat, element of cohesion, element of motion. They are all the acquisitions. And internal and the internal elements like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind, as well as these 6 classes of consciousness: the eye and the form, eye consciousness, ear and the sound, ear consciousness, and so on. They are acquisitions. So when you understand all these things lead me to suffering, what would you do? You are happy to renounce, get rid of them. So when you get rid of them, then you get the concentration due to mind. Concentration due to mind is there. So remember the concentration due to mind I was explaining on the first day. Maybe you are studying for your exam, and to that place 2 people are coming and talking rubbish. You are not talking to you, but they are talking to each other, and it is disturbing your study. There may be somebody chase away them more. There may be somewhere far away talking, but still your mind did not give them up. Inside you are saying, they were troubling me in my study, and what are they talking about? Now you are going to the subject that they were talking about as well. So the rambling is there. So in other words, inside your mind you are actually blaming, shouting. What are they? Harsh speech, isn't it? Harsh speech, slander, and all those things are there. So your mind is not getting concentrated. But if you are not doing that one, remember what we actually giving up. We were giving up all those things, lying, harsh speech, and all those things. So in other words, what you have come over here, you are refrained from lying, harsh speech, and so on. So you concentrate your mind not to have them. So that is the concentration due to mind. So where are we if it is the case? We are back in that meditation, isn't it? Back in the meditation that we were doing. What we were doing little while ago. We were actually saying we don't want killing, stealing, lying, harsh speech, and so on. So in other words, when you do that one, you get the concentration due to mind. So when you get the concentration due to mind, that means at this particular point you are doing the Potaliya Sutta meditation again. That's what it is. And the concentration due to mind has got enemies. The 2 enemies I can show you, they are here, the hate and the sickness. You would be marking concentration due to mind exactly on this spot over here. You see there is a line from aging to the body tie of misapprehension. And if you draw a line from hate to sickness and the joining point, and that is the concentration due to mind. So the 2 enemies are written over here, the sickness and the hate. How I saw this one, I saw these 2 as 2 magnets, and the beam is actually going through this one. So with the sickness increase, that is the magnetism to that side increase. So this stream of consciousness wobble in that direction. So how do we get sick? I'll tell you the best example I can give you. How do you get sick? You see, if you do these meditations and then you understand this meditation is really good for you, and then you actually get a compassion to give it to someone, others. That is this compassion from the Buddha. That is the Buddha's compassion is the one we are actually delivering to others. That's the great compassion. So, having known that there is this meditation called Eightfold Path meditation, you go and tell your friend or someone that, there is this good meditation about Eightfold Path. I did it, and you do that one as well. So then that person sort of looking at you say, There is no such a thing. The monk in the temple did not tell me such a thing. There is no such a meditation. So if that particular person has got a huge personality, sometimes you go under with his with wording. So probably you go home and then you take this Satipatthana Sutta mindfulness discourse, and then you in the mindfulness meditation there are 4 parts, and then the last part is the mindfulness regarding the doctrine. And then in that meditation, the last part is about the Four Noble Truth. And in the Four Noble Truth, last meditation is the Eightfold Path meditation. So now you read that one, you see, no, I am right. That person was wrong. He did not know this one, and he was actually trying to trouble me, saying that there is no such a thing. Now what happened? Next day morning, now we are going to do the meditation. You say that I go through the Eightfold Path. As soon as you say that I go through the Eightfold Path, then you are coming over here, I am right. From the mental volition down, you are saying I am right. The Eightfold Path is there, I did the meditation, that is right. In the same time, you are saying the other person was lying, because he did not know he was lying. And you are actually blaming him. If he did not know, he should have shut his mouth and not talking about it. Rather than he opened his mouth and he said there is no such a thing. So now, because you have inbuilt things like lying, harsh speech inside you, they are coming up and popping. So now one time you are saying I am right, and the same time you are saying the other person is wrong. It is not easy, I'll tell you, it is not easy to get out of this one. Now the person who was happily doing the meditation can't do the meditation because this one is coming back and again. So I was affected by this one long time ago. Now I don't have that problem. So I asked Sampati Mahabrahma, how can I get out of this one? And then Sampati Mahabrahma said that that stop board in the road. So you use that one to your side. Stop. What are you saying? Stop. Stop that saying that I am right. You see, only when I am saying I am right, then at the same time I get he is wrong. But if I am not doing that one, it is gone. So the other person died inside that your mind. So you then release the brake. In other words, you are still admitting that the Eightfold Path meditation is right, but you are not telling. You are not verbalizing. You are not coming to, keep on taking it to your mind. Rather than keep on doing that one, you do the meditation. That's a very valuable example. You see that when you actually take the stopboard. In your house, there are quite a lot of fights. Father fights with the son, and the mother with the husband, and so on. So in all those cases, what you have is some sort of a view. We are putting our views first. When the father and the son is fighting, father is thinking he is right. Son is thinking he is right. Both have got these views. What Sampati Mahabrahma said, that they get rid of your attachment, and then you have the compassion. When you go and tell the next door neighbor's boy, son, this is the correct thing, this is the wrong thing. Would you care whether he follows it or not? In the same way, out of compassion you say, the following it or not is up to that person. It can be your wife, it can be your husband, it can be your son, daughter, whoever. You are only a shower of the path, in the shower of these things. Buddha said Buddha is only a shower of the path. The others has to follow. It is up to them. If they are not following, Buddha doesn't care. Buddha, he will do what he has to do. And that's all. He is not, bothered that they are not actually following this thing. And Buddha's time, there were so many people who were not following Buddhism at all. So that's the way to get rid of it. So let us say, if you are getting sick, you get the sickness, then you get the hate as well. That can be shown using this particular diagram. This is called Samma Vacha diagram, and very valuable diagram. You see this pink colored one over here. What it signifies is that you are spinning with the barb of lust. Taking a form, you are spinning. So in other words, you have to keep on eating. But when you keep on eating, what will happen? Even the vehicle, if you keep on running the belt, it will worn out. So that means aging. So when there is aging, you can see on the top of that one, there's a little cone over here, ill will. So you get the ill will. Now with that ill will, you look at other side, other people, the young ones. Oh, I am the one affected, my body wrinkle and so on. The other ones are actually living a good life. So you get the envy because of that. And to that side, you go for the hate. Its cone is now expanding to the envy and the hate. And it is written over here that when you have the covetousness and you go to ill will, when you know that you are subject to aging. So that is what is written over here. And again, if you have the covetousness, abhijja, ill will, and the wrong view, then you know that you are sick, then you get hate. That's how the hate come to arise. First you become sick, and you got to have these three ingredients over here: covetousness, ill will, and the wrong view. And if you are sick, then you get the hate. And this diagram is really valuable diagram, because later on you can meditate. This line lead to harsh speech lead to slander, and the line lead to frivolous talks, the slander lead to delusion as well. You can meditate on this later on. So now you understand, if I am sick, then I get hate. So in the previous diagram, you can see our concentration due to mind is over here. So if I am sick, because that person was saying, no, there is no such a eightfold path meditation or something, then you get the hate. So magnetism increase in that side. So then if the beam is going through that one, then it's wobble. And if you were carefully looking at in the previous meditation, that you have seen this one, you see that this feeling is there. There are two ropes. One rope going to the coveting and greed, another rope is going to this side, the insult with anger. So it's like there's some object that you are pulling in two different directions. So if there is a string attached to the feeling, because we construct the stream of consciousness for the feeling, because of the feeling. So now you can see the stream of consciousness is wobbling, because this is actually pulling in two different directions. So how can we stop these things, these two enemies? How can I get rid of them? So for that one, you need what you call iddhipada, the spiritual powers. But how do you get the spiritual powers? Remember, in the first day, we were looking at that 4 meditations, bhavita kaya, and then development of the body. From the development of the body, what you get? You get the concentration due to desire, chanda. And then what is this development of the body? What it's consisting of? It's consisting of refraining from killing and stealing. But we do have that one over here, isn't it? Killing and stealing. I'm refraining from that one. So therefore, development of body is this part. And so I will get concentration due to desire from that one. So one spiritual power is developed. And then next one is bhavita sila, the development of virtue. And from doing that one, you get the concentration due to mind. And what it consisting of? It is consisting of the right speech. So the right speech includes these, isn't it? Not having lie and the slander. So therefore, now this one leads to the concentration due to mind. So another spiritual power is developed. And then we have the concentration due to effort. So that one over here, another two. You see, it's go by pair. First two for the development of the body. Next to development of the virtue. And the other two is the development of the mind. That include getting rid of covetousness and greed and the insult with anger. And then, so from that one you get the development of concentration due to effort. And then the next two, that is the associate with anger, you are getting rid of that one, as well as the conceit. Buddha was talking about Potali Sutra, 8 parts. So these two, if you are not having those two, then that means you are development of the wisdom. Remember when we were talking about over here, we are saying you can't live even by innocently eating a fruit. You can't live even in the Brahma world, because that was the definition for non-hate. So you can see you get rid of this hate thing, and so therefore you get this wisdom. So then, in other words, you are actually developing the concentration due to investigation. So those are the 4 spiritual powers, the Iddhipada. So that is what is meant in the next one. See, these 4 bases of power, Iddhi. That's what you got. So you got Potali Sutta. The meditation is so powerful, you are even getting these bases of power as well. That is why you can recollect your past births, because the meditation is so powerful. Without you knowing what you have developed, those spiritual powers. So when you do that one, you go to measureless state of compassion. The compassion, Sampati Mahaprabhu says, that always include something giving. Something giving means it includes giving up. You can't donate something without giving up what you are giving. The money or whatever thing it is, the desire has to be given up. So that is part over here, isn't it? Having known what is going to arise is the suffering, you gave up the determination for relinquishment, renunciation. So that you are giving up. So then you get the concentration due to mind. And the 4 powers are developed. And then the spiritual powers. And then you get the measureless state of compassion. So then you can spread the compassion. So how do we do this meditation? We start with difficult means and quick realization. So those 5 meditations you have been doing, you did this morning as well, the day before yesterday as well as the first day. So you don't have to do all 5. Take the best shot, the best meditation that was working for you. Like if it is a Dadatu Punyam Pavaddati, that Gatha meditation is the one that working, take that one. If someone is contemplating about this vomit and going through the 32 parts of the body, and then I was living like a worm in a cow dung scenario, well then use that one. So take your best one. I'll tell you very simple thing. If someone is carrying vomit in a polythene bag in the street, would you look at? You don't, isn't it? So isn't that the polythene bags are going over there around you in the stomach filled up with the vomit? They all have that one. So don't look. So if you get that idea thoroughly established in your mind, then you can go into this jhana concentration quickly. So you take your best shot, then you come to the second jhana concentration, and then you contemplation of feeling. That is, remember, Sakya is feeling. Sakya is the arising of feeling. Just thinking about the feeling like a rotten mango. You eat the rotten mango and that is the feeling. Sakya is feeling. And Sakya is the arising of feeling. So that is, you remember Samadhi Bhavana Sutra concentration discourse, that one seek delight in feeling, one welcomes, one remain holy. By doing that one, delight in feeling come to arise. The delight in feeling is clinging. With clinging as condition, the existence. The existence as condition, the birth. That is how the feeling come to arise, this whole mass of suffering. And then you look at the other way around. One does not seek delight, does not welcome, does not remain whole into it. So the Delight in feeling ceases. With the cessation of delight comes the cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of existence. With the cessation of existence comes the cessation of birth. And that is the end of this whole mass of suffering. So that has to be done over there. And before you go to these four immeasurable states, remember the meditation that we did this morning. We need to go to the metta, appamana. That is, you are using this one, isn't it? The slow realization. Same techniques, but going to the first jhana and the mindfulness regarding the body. So when you contemplate that way, you saw that you reach this first abiding, and then you knew that you were living like a worm in a cow dung. You touch the nibbana, and you understood that there is something apart from this worm in the cow dung scenario, and then you put effort to get out of that one. I don't want sensual thought, evil thought, and harming thought. While you were away from the cow dung for a long time, then you see the cow dung's life is really miserable. Birth, aging, sickness, death is there. So that is the first noble truth. And from that one you come to determination for truth. Then you understood whatever techniques you use, learning chemistry, physics, mathematics, engineering, medicine, you can't cure. The worm in the cow dung dies all the time. No way to maintain it. So in that case, the not lasting consciousness, you give up the desire for that one. And what is lasting is Nibbana, and it is not subject to falsity. So you have the desire. So then you get the concentration due to desire to attain it, and then you restrain your faculties. Now you are back in Metta Sutta, Santrindyoja, Nipapocha. Become prudent and not hankering after associate families. You start spreading loving kindness like the mother is spreading the loving kindness to everyone. And then you reach measureless state of loving kindness. So that part is in between this contemplation of feeling and then these four immeasurable states. So now you understand why we have metta, because there was a harm due to the form. My grandfather, me, everybody got this one. And on the other hand, that is why we have metta. On the other hand, to come to this body, I have done a sexual misconduct at least once. Otherwise I can't. So sexual misconduct lead to delusion. Delusion lead to sexual misconduct. So in other words, I have the delusion. Having known that I have delusion, then I know that I get hate and greed. So therefore, that we are trying to get rid of that one. So this effort is to get rid of this greed, hate, and delusion. And now, when you do that one, you see the picture. You see that these two meditations are coupled inside. So then you actually really understand. You see, in between over here, we said that what we are actually looking at is the first meditation, the morning meditation. So there we see the form, and then we see that it's come to arise, and this is suffering, worm in a cow dung scenario. And here we talk about the feeling. Because of the feeling, I do all those things, and I have craving. Now then you see this craving for sensuality, craving for existence, craving for non-existence. This is the problem. This one is creating the problem for me. Now what can I do? Let me give up. Whatever form I take, like in the case of Potali Sutta, whatever the form I take, I can't live. So then I get this problem. This number 7 case in the Potali Sutta. So therefore only choice for me to give up. So you give up everything. And which we explain using those 10 terms, even including the karma. So when you do that one, then you come to the concentration due to mind. So that means you are back in Potali Sutta meditation, the one you did. So this is at this particular point, you come back to this Potali Sutta meditation, and then you do it again. So this time your mind is sort of further, it has gone further, and then you now understand these are actually not little things. This is the development of the body, the development of virtue. Getting rid of that one is development of virtue, and that means development of the mind, and that is development of the anger as well as the conceit. Getting rid of that one is the development of wisdom. So I am developing the spiritual power here, so that these two enemies will be eliminated from that one. So I can be there with the concentration of mind, and then you go to the immeasurable state of compassion. Then when you have that compassion, you can spread that compassion to all the others. You see that when you are meditating over here, that it is sort of easy for you to meditate because of the compassion of the arahants as well as me, spreading the compassion. Some teachers also spread the compassion. So therefore you are actually living in a mental cushion, and this is what you can do when you are at home. Your partner is not here, your son is not here. Then when you are meditating, you spread the compassion to the other person. You uplift your mind up to this level, and then you spread the compassion to the other person. So then he is actually meditating on the top of a mental cushion, so that he can meditate easily. So that is the technique Buddha used as well. Buddha has got this Mahakaruna Samapatti, the great compassion. 1 hour he was actually doing. People normally think what he is actually doing is looking at the people to, give. But there is another part in that one. He is doing that one, plus he is spreading to the whatever the direction that he is actually going. So whatever people they are in that direction, their mind become uplifted. So they be happy to see the Buddha, happy to concentrate, that it is happening. Just imagine when the Buddha is actually spreading the compassion. It's a massive compassion, massive radiance. So it is very easy for people. Even the Buddha can control to what extent he is actually spreading this one. That there are certain things that he has to do. So you can do as well, spread the compassion, not up to the Buddha's level, but to whatever level you have developed, you can help others. So that is the meditation.